Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining Beauty Beyond the Ashes podcast, where we talk all things forgiveness, restoration, freedom, healing, and wholeness so that we can walk in God's purpose for our lives with courage and boldness. I am your host, Tanya B. Jones. I am always so grateful for your time and attention. I'm always elated to come on and just pour whatever it is God gives me to give to you all. And I cannot go without saying thank you for taking the time. I'm going to ask that you would, if this is valuable to you, it may be valuable to someone else as well. So in order for that to get into their ears, in order for things that I might say to reach someone else's heart, I'm going to ask that you guys would share. I'm going to ask that you would subscribe to the channel that you're listening to. I would ask that you would comment, rate, review, all those things so that we can grow and get into the ears and hearts of more people. I appreciate all that you all do. I have gotten some amazing comments. I've gotten some amazing reviews, and I absolutely, really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Listen, I am going to talk about something here today, but if you're watching on YouTube, I know that you see that my environment is a little bit different. This is not my normal recording environment. But I am excited because I am out of town. I'm visiting my daughter. She gave birth to my third grandchild about 2 days ago. So I had the pleasure and the honor of being here to witness the birth and just to love on my new grandson. I almost didn't record today because, I'm in the hotel. This is different. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll skip recording today. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll just do audio. But then the Holy Spirit was like, who said change? I didn't tell you to change anything. So here I am, because one thing that is for sure is that God's faithfulness is always connected to my obedience. And I mean, he showers me each and every time that I am obedient to his call. So here I am. And what he has given me to talk about, I didn't feel was relevant for the podcast. I knew that it was something that he was bringing to my heart. But then when he, prompted and was like, actually, this is it. That's more obedience that I'm going to walk into. And I really believe this is going to bless someone. So I'm here with my daughter, as I said, and I have two other grandkids who are 8 and 6 years old. And if you know that anything about my healing journey, 8 or 6 years ago, I was not in a place of healing when my first two grandchildren were born. And if you know anything about my story, and how I got started on this healing journey and where it comes from, you will know that it revolves around abortion, and that I am now in my post-abortion recovery period, which is amazing. So I want to talk about what it looks like on the other side of healing. What's on the other side of healing? And that's what the Holy Spirit brought to me today when I was sitting and praying, and I found myself thinking and journeying through my path to see where I sit right now, and the joy and the peace that I find myself. That's what he gave me, was this is the other side of healing. And I'm going to remind you of my definition of healing. So healing is, for me, healing is when your being and your living are at peace with that which once had the power to keep you hostage. So in my circumstance, my abortions in the past had the power once to keep me hostage. And I'm going to exemplify that in what I'm going to talk about today. So when my granddaughter, who is 8, and my grandson, who is 6, were born, I was very much in a state of unhealing. Unknowingly, though, I didn't realize that I was not healed. I didn't realize that I was suffering from the shackles of shame. The regret was heavily up on me. And there were feelings that were being displayed that I didn't readily know where it was coming from. So when my daughter was pregnant with her oldest daughter, I was a mother of a 5-year-old. So I was very, very much in mother mode. When my daughter was having all of her excitement and joy and exuberance around being pregnant and giving birth to her first child, I was excited for her. I was happy for her. But there were some feelings that I had that I could not identify. I hadn't developed language to understand and put into words what I was feeling. So the best that I knew is that I was angry about something, angry at myself about something. So in my recovery period, in my healed state, what I'm going to call life after healing, there is knowledge now. There is language that I have that I didn't have before. I now understand that I was angry at myself because of the feelings that I was having. And honestly, the feeling that I had was envy. It was envy at the fact that my daughter was experiencing this beauty of bringing life into the world when I didn't do that during my first pregnancy. When there was a comparison that was happening unbeknownst to me. It's not something that I sat and intentionally thought about and intentionally did a comparison. And I will tell you, this was something that, now that I look back, this was something that would happen when women around me were pregnant, when women around me were experiencing joy connected to pregnancy. It poked me in a way that I didn't know why, but there was anger. If you listen to some of my other episodes, I always talk about the fact that I was angry. I was angry at everything. I was angry at me. I was angry at other people. I was angry at situations. And it wasn't that the anger was outwardly, the anger was inwardly. So it wasn't like I was walking around, at least I don't think so. No one's really ever told me. But I wasn't walking around punching walls or, now I did display anger, sometimes irrationally so, even in my own mind. But I was provoked by something that I could identify. I didn't know why I was provoked, but I knew there was something that provoked me. But in this situation, like, there was anger and no one did anything to me. These are women who are enjoying their pregnancy. These are women who are rubbing on their tummies. And for instance, let me show you something that would get me. When I would see women all the time rubbing on their tummy, my thing was, she ain't got to be rubbing on her stomach all the time like that. Everybody knows she's pregnant. That was me. That was me. Didn't know where that was coming from. Now I understand that it was coming from, I'm watching them love on their pregnancy, their baby, their life. And I didn't get a chance to choose that. Regardless of the circumstances, that's not what I chose. And I was angry about not being able to experience that. I was angry because that was taken from me. That was cut short. That was given away, however you want to phrase it or say it. I was angry because I had not experienced that. So here I am this morning on the other side of healing. And I'm praying and I'm thanking God for my grandson. And I'm thanking him for the life. And he brings back to me these memories. And he did so in such a gentle manner. That's our God. He did so in such a gentle manner where it wasn't condemning me for what I used to feel. It was showing me my healing. It was showing me how I now feel. I was in gratitude. I was in a place of love and just joy and peace, and even peace with the thought of where I used to be. That's healing. And I was just so thankful for where he had brought me to, that when he pushed me to talk about this, it wasn't something that I would have done. But when he pushed me to do that, there wasn't the resistance that's normally there. If I can help another woman rid herself of that shame and the guilt and the regret and unshackle herself and stop the self-condemnation, so that when her sisters or her daughters or her daughter-in-laws come to her and are experiencing birth, are experiencing the exuberance that comes with carrying life, that she can join in with a pure and clean and healed heart. I'm all for it. Yes, Lord, I'll do it. Yes, Lord, I'll do it. So if you are in any way, like, have some kind of pain, have some kind of poke, have some kind of unrecognized feelings from if you are post-abortive and you have these unrecognizable feelings as it relates to pregnancy or the birth of children or just life in general, new life in general, then I would implore you to ask yourself a few questions. I would implore you to ask yourself, what is it I'm feeling? Am I angry? And if I am, where's that anger pointed towards? It's towards me because of something else in someone else's life. Why is that? I would ask myself, what is this connected to? I feel something that I know in my spirit that shouldn't be there. So what is that connected to? Journal that. Write that out. I'm telling you, I am always like trying to find the root of my feelings. And I will repeat my coach. You can only grow to the extent you are willing to heal. Your growth in what God has called you to do cannot flourish in an unhealed state. It can only grow so much. And I will use the example. I was doing well in what I had said yes to thus far in my unhealed state. But in 2020, my max had come. I could not go any further in what God had called me to do until I began to heal. I had gotten to that point, and mine was a detrimental mental and emotional state. So if I can help prevent you from having to hit the wall, if I can help prevent you from getting to that that point where it's almost like a do or die kind of thing, I don't want you on the edge like that. So if I can get you to start asking those questions now and digging deep and deciding to begin your healing journey, I implore you to do that now. I implore you to do that now. I'm going to tell you, this can apply to anyone who has shame, regret, guilt, self-condemnation for whatever you've done. It doesn't necessarily have to be about abortion, but if you are holding on to something from the past, a mistake that you've made, a choice that you made that you're not proud of, that you absolutely regret, and that when things come along and remind you of that decision, there's some unresolved feelings, then that is when you need to really begin to work on your healing. And that goes for anything. Whatever it is, you have to dig down and say, where is this coming from? Why is this here? Why is there a lack of joy around something that should be filled with joy? Why is there feelings that contradict the entire situation? Ask yourself whatever question you have to ask yourself. But the important thing after asking yourself the question is being radically honest with the answer, even if you don't like what you have to say. Even if you don't like what you have to say about you, say it anyway. Because that's how we begin to heal, because like last week, I talked about that truth. And you got to be honest. Do you realize how hard it is to sit and say that I had envious feelings towards my daughter during her pregnancy because of a decision that I made? That's not an easy thing to admit. That's not an easy thing to face. But I had to. But God, in his infinite wisdom, didn't whip me with it then, and he's not whipping me with it now. What he did now was so gracious and so loving that he showed me, Tanya, look at the beauty and the joy and the peace that you have on the other side of healing in relation to the gift of life that I've given your family. God is just so good. He's just so loving and so kind that he offers this type of healing to us. He offers, no matter what you've done, he offers this to you too. But we've got to accept it. We've got to do the work to get here. So I pray that this speaks to someone. I pray that even maybe you're on your healing journey, or you've already walked through that journey. And this will help you to recognize that, hey, you know what? I do have peace about this. This journey of healing is working. I am able to look at the circumstances and it not take over my soul, it not damage where I am today. That's a place of healing that I want for everyone. No matter what the thing is, no matter what has you shackled, no matter what has imprisoned you, let's release. You are no longer a captive. You have the freedom to make these changes, and God is calling you. You know, I am just really in an amazing place today. And I am so thankful for my daughter. I'm so thankful for my grandchildren. I am so thankful to God for the peace that I feel in my heart, and the love and joy that I now get to partake in with my family, with my daughter, with my grandkids, with anyone who brings life into this world. I'm on the other side, and this is what's on the other side of healing. It's a whole new world. I have found beauty beyond my ashes, and I am healed, whole, and walking in freedom. And I pray that for you. I'm going to go ahead and leave you all now. Got to go pick up the folks from the hospital. So I will talk to you all next week, same time, same place. But until then, remember this. Don't be so uncomfortable with the darkness of your past that you're too afraid to walk into the light of your future. I love you all. Bye-bye.